Do you want to go from chaos to calm? Well, this video is going to be providing some parenting help for you to change the way things feel at your house. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, and strengthen family relationships through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about how to be successful with your calmness and some calmness for them too. Are you experiencing some chaos at your house, or maybe with some children that you're working with? That is not an unusual thing to happen. Children are a work in progress. They are not perfect, but we are not in the business of making perfect children. In fact, hopefully we can look ahead and decide that the type of children that we're creating are going to be a certain type of adult one day, and that's really our goal. So then we can take these moments of chaos and we can not take them personally. We can handle them in a calm and productive way, in a proactive way, so that the children can learn some lessons as they progress in their journey toward maturity, instead of trying to just manipulate us with more and more of that chaos. So when I say chaos, what does that mean to you? It's probably going to be different at every person's house. There are going to be some people who experience tantrums and whining and hitting and biting and spitting and those types of things that young children and toddlers do. And then there's some people who are going to say, no, chaos looks like they won't talk to me, they won't listen to me, they're isolating themselves from me, they are not connected well to me, and I feel like it's attitude problem all the time. That can also feel like chaos. Sometimes just having too much silence because there's not communication can feel like the family is not connecting well, and that can seem a little chaotic also. So whatever kind of chaos that you are dealing with, the very first stop that you want to make is at your own calmness. No matter what type of chaos or craziness you might be facing at your house, there is help. I have a teaching self-government calm parenting toolkit that you can find at the website teachingselfgovernment.com. This calm parenting toolkit is designed to help you and your children develop the tools that you need to be calm. These 10 tools for calmness will change your life and theirs forever. People always come to me and they say, Nicholeen, I wish I could be calm. You talk about calm as if it's possible, but you don't know how I was raised. They might say, I was raised in this hot-blooded German family, or this hot-blooded Latin family, or trust me, I've heard it all. People will come to me and say, it's just not in my DNA to be calm, but I want to be calm so much. I don't want to take off my shoe and threaten my children with it, or take off my belt. I don't want to get angry. I don't want my face to do that angry thing that happens. I want to be able to have good, calm, instructive conversation with my children, but can I really do it if I have that as my history and my reference for my parenting? And I always say yes. Because the thing is that you don't know what you don't know. But once you know something new, you find yourself duty-bound to work on making a change. So staying in ignorance is not bliss. It doesn't help you accomplish your goals. So learning some new tools can be just what you need. For many years, I've been talking with people about how they can overcome themselves. Conquering yourself is the first step to helping your whole entire family be calm. So what do you have to do? Well, you might need to get rid of some of the tools that you have been using because you're programmed. You're a robot already. All of us are. We are programmed by the way that we were parented, other people that we've seen interact around us, our friends. Sometimes the media has influenced us. Sometimes we have been in a desperate circumstance and we've grabbed at words or emotions and decided to use them to solve our problem, and then they become our go-to. Those are all things that are part of our parenting programming. So what do we need to do if we're going to change and not get angry, not get emotional, not vent at our children anymore? We have to reprogram ourselves. We might even need to give ourselves new things to think and new things to say. When I first started teaching parenting many years ago, I talked to people about creating skills and a plan so that they could proactively prepare their children and themselves for success. And then people would raise their hands and say, okay, but Nicholeen, what do I say? And I would say, well, I don't want to tell you exactly what to say. I mean, I have what I say, but what you need to do is determine what you want to say. See, I didn't want to take away anyone's freedom, but then people would say to me, but I don't know what else to say. Could you please just give us the script? And I thought, oh, I don't want to put words in other people's mouths, but I guess if they need a new script, I can tell them the new script that I prepared for myself. And so that's what I did. I started writing down all the scripts, and then I provided the scripts, and I've got books and courses and things that give the scripts for all of the teaching self-government skills that a family would need to handle all of the problems and to bring everybody back to that baseline of calmness. Many people are not aware that before they act out in a way that's not calm, that they have a feeling and a thought that precedes that acting emotion. Some people also think that other people are making them behave in certain ways, but it's not true. It actually all goes back to the thought that you entertain within your own head. There's a type of therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy, and this therapeutic approach actually capitalizes on the idea that you do have control over your own choices and your own thoughts. So even though you might feel something that might be out of your control, the thoughts and the actions that happen afterward are within your control if you are able to stop yourself, prepare, get yourself focused on the thoughts you want to have, the ones you know will be productive, and then move yourself forward. The free Calm Parenting Toolkit is designed to help you prepare to stop yourself, prepare for the thoughts that are going to be productive in your head, and to know what to say after you have decided that you need to take productive instead of reactive action. Here's the other thing you need to know, is that if a skill really is based upon a principle, which all of the teaching self-government skills are, then that means that that skill is beneficial for the parents as well as for the children. So I have a set of children's books. This book is one of that set. I'll show you the whole set in a minute. This book, Porter Earns a Quarter, teaches the skill accepting no answers and criticism. When a person accepts a no answer or criticism, they look at the person or the situation, they keep a calm face, voice, and body, they say okay, or they ask to disagree appropriately, which is another one of our basic skills, and then they drop the subject. So when it comes to parenting, did you know that when you have those moments of chaos, that those are just no answers? Those are just little moments that you didn't get to have control over. And so you have to tell yourself, well, that happened. That's a no answer. Sometimes just knowing the steps to the skills of self-government can give you new things to think so that you don't fall into the same traps. They work for your children and they work for you too. Next time somebody cuts you off in traffic or talks back to you when you didn't want them to, it's a no answer. What are you going to do? Stay calm, say, okay, that happened, or disagree appropriately with the person, and then drop the subject, meaning don't put too much mental or emotional energy into this. Just move on and go on to your next skill that's going to be beneficial. As a parent, sometimes that skill is to correct the child because they were talking back to you. As an adult with another adult, sometimes the next skill is to disagree appropriately with someone who maybe shares a differing opinion. Are things feeling chaotic at your house, or are you hoping not to have more chaos? Well, then there is help. In fact, I could give you tons of help. You can find these things at teachingselfgovernment.com, but there is something else that you can find there, and that is that Calm Parenting Toolkit. It is completely free. Right now on the homepage at teachingselfgovernment.com, you can get 10 new tools for calmness. You can help yourself and your children learn how to do things like following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, disagreeing appropriately. They can learn how you'll correct them so that they are less anxious, that they have decreased anxiety because you're more predictable in your parenting. It's absolutely possible to be calm. You might just need to know what you don't know. So go to teachingselfgovernment.com today for your free Calm Parenting Toolkit.